transfer. So our objective yesterday was first to identify important properties in heat transfer, develop a deeper understanding of the Fourier's law, to develop from the basic principles the general equation termed as the heat diffusion equation, which governs the temperature distribution in a medium, and to solve problems related to conduction heat transfer. So today we will continue our discussion with solving problems related to conduction heat transfer. So this will be our goal for today. So we have discussed the introduction to conduction. So the heat diffusion equation are also derived yesterday. So we already know how to derive the heat diffusion equation. So this is for Cartesian coordinates. For cylindrical coordinates, we have a separate equation similar to equation 2.19 but different coordinates. So this is for cylindrical coordinates. So just by applying the energy balance to the differential control volume, so we can form the general equation, the heat diffusion equation. And also we have the one for spherical coordinates. Okay. So now you will solve sample problems. Do you have, before we proceed, do you have any question regarding the derivation for the heat diffusion equation? Okay, so for information, we are deriving the heat diffusion equation because the major objective in the conduction analysis is to determine the temperature field in a medium resulting from conditions imposed on its boundaries. So that is the temperature distribution. So kaya natin siya pinakalculate para malaman natin paano ba natin distribute yung temperature across a certain system. So yung temperature distribution, it represents how the temperature varies from position in the medium. So after that, the conduction heat flux at any point in the medium or on its surface may be computed from Fourier's law. So yesterday, we just applied the methodology for energy conservation requirements. So we have identified that energy coming in plus energy generated minus energy coming out is equivalent to energy stored in the system. Okay, so any question regarding that? No question, so we will solve sample problems. So for example, problem number 2. So the temperature distribution across a wall, 1 meter thick, and at a certain instant of time is given as T of x equals A plus Bx plus Cx squared, where T is in degrees Celsius and x is in meters, while A equals 900 degrees Celsius, B equals negative 300 degrees Celsius per meter, and C equals negative 50 degrees Celsius per square meter. A uniform heat generation of 1000 watt per cubic meter is present in the wall of area 10 square meter, having the properties density equals 1600 kilogram per cubic meter, K equals 40 watt per meter Kelvin, and Cp is 4 kilojoules per kilogram Kelvin. So meron tayong temperature distribution equation na T of x equals A plus Bx plus Cx squared. So kung mapapansin nyo, ang value ng A ay in degrees Celsius. Ang value ng B would be Bx is degrees Celsius per meter. And yung sa Cx squared naman is degrees Celsius per square meter. So, square din. So, ito yung equation na nagdi-determine kung paano na-distribute yung temperature across a wall. So, given ang heat generation na 1,000 watt per cubic meter, ito yung unit ng QDOT, 1,000 watt per cubic meter. And area is 10 square meter and density is 16 kilogram per meter cube. So, given din yung K at saka Cp. So, determine the rate of heat transfer entering the wall at x equals 0 and leaving the wall at x equals 1 meter. Determine the rate of change of energy storage in the wall and determine the time rate of temperature change at x equals 0, 0.25, and 0.5 meters. So let us solve this systematically. So known is the temperature distribution P of x at an instant of time t in one-dimensional wall with uniform heat generation. So given you P of x. Find the heat rates entering. So Q in at x equals 0 and leaving Q out equals at x equals 1 meter. Rate of change of energy storage in the wall. Yung discuss natin yesterday na energy stored. So time rate of temperature change at x equals 0.0, 0.25, and 0.5. So, drawing natin, gawa tayong schematic diagram. So, this will be our schematic diagram. So, we have the energy inside the system. The wall is energy generated and energy stored. So, pwedeng may additional source of heat, kaya may energy na nag-generate, or pwede naman may molecular activity sa loob. So, energy stored, yun yung natitirang energy kapag yung pumasok ay kapag merong pumasok at merong lumabas, so may natitirang energy na i-store dun sa wall. So, meron tayo sa loob na energy generated at energy stored. So, distance is 1 meter. So, given yung mga parameters na ito, given yung energy generated na 1,000 watt per cubic meter. So, kunin nyo lang yung volume, makukuha nyo yung energy generated in watts. Given yung area. So, ito yung equation natin. Again, ang hinahanap natin ay heat rates entering at Q in at x equals 0. So, yung heat rate, itong Q in at saka Q out, yun yung hinahanap natin given yung equation. So, paano siya isosolve? And then another hinahanap pa is rate of change yung energy stored. Ito hinahanap energy stored. Tsaka time rate of temperature change at x equals 0, 0.25, and 0.5 meters. So yun, yung T yung hinahanap na next. So meron tayong equation. So substitute lang natin yung value ng x dito sa inyo. So naintindihan ba yung problem? Yan. So, Assumptions natin is always one-dimensional conduction in x direction. So we can add also isotropic medium with constant properties and uniform heat generation Q watt per meter cube. Q dot in watt per meter cube. So uniform yung internal heat generation. So analysis, recall that once the temperature distribution is known for a medium, it is simple matter to determine the conduction heat transfer rate at any point in the medium or at its surface by using the Fourier's law. So hence, the desired heat rates may be determined by using the prescribed temperature distribution with equation 2.1 accordingly. So Q in. Okay, so ang hinahanap natin una ay heat rates entering Q or Q in at x equals 0 and leaving at Q out at x equals 1 meter. So at x equals 0, so we have this equation. Gagamitin natin ang Fourier's law. So since given naman yung temperature distribution natin, ito yung ating temperature distribution. Sorry. Wala. Given yung temperature distribution natin, so yung T of x equals A plus Bx plus Cx squared. So, simple matter na lang to determine the conduction heat transfer rate at any point in the medium or its surfaces by using the Fourier's law. So, ito yung Fourier's law natin. So, negative Ka partial derivative of T with respect to x at x equals 0. So, kunin nyo lang yung derivative nitong equation na to. So, we have negative Ka B plus 2cx at x equals 0. So, kinuha lang natin yung derivative. Okay? Nagets? So, at x equals 0, so magiging 0 yung x dito. So, 2cx. So, ang nangyayari sa kanya is negative bka na lang to equation. Mawala na yung 2cx kasi x equals 0. So, substitute nyo yung value ng negative b, which is, ang negative b natin ay, value ng b is negative 300 degrees Celsius per meter. Tapos yung k ay 40 watt per meter Kelvin. Area is kukunin nyo yung area. Ay, given nyo tayong area, 10 square meter. Ito pala. So, 10 square meter yung area. So, given. So, yun. Substitute nyo lang dito. Q in equals negative BKA equals 300 degrees Celsius per meter. So, positive na siya kasi negative din dito sa negative B dito. Maging positive B, KA. Ang K natin is 40 watt per meter Kelvin. And the area is 10 square meters. So, total natin is 120 watt, kilowatt. 120 kilowatt. Nagets? Nagets ba? Okay. Okay, so yan unang hinahanap natin, Q in. So, let's solve for Q out. So dito, ang x nyo ay 0. Sa Q out, ang x nyo is 1. So, Q out is equals Qx at L. So, equals negative Ka, partial derivative of Q with respect to x at x equals L. So, yun, negative Ka, B plus 2Cx at x equals L. So, negative of B plus 2Cl, L, instead of x, gagawin natin L, times Ka. So, equals negative of negative 300 degrees Celsius per meter plus 2 times yung value ng C is negative 50. Given siya sa problem. Ito, negative 50 degrees Celsius per meter squared. Then yung L na 1 multiplied by K, which is 40 watt per meter Kelvin, and then multiplied by the area, which is 10 square meter. So computing this, you will get a 160 kilowatt. Okay, so from 120, yung pumasok sa kanya is 120. Lumabas siya ay 160. So, ibig sabihin, hindi siya steady state. So, meron tayong temperature distribution. So, hindi natin in-assume na siya ay steady state dito sa assumptions. Kasi meron siyang temperature distribution. So, yung next na hinahanap is rate of change of energy stored in the world. May question kayo kung paano nakuha yung 160 kilowatt. Yes?
Sir, bakit hindi po na-convert yung Celsius sa Kelvin?
Pag conduction, pwedeng hindi siya i-convert kasi hindi naman natin siya nire-raise. Unlike sa radiation na i-raise natin siya sa fourth power. So dito, pwedeng hindi siya i-convert. So time rate, parang delta T din, equivalent din to sa delta T. So yung difference ng Celsius, 2 degree Celsius, is equivalent pa rin sa 2 degree Kelvin. So pwedeng hindi siya i-convert unless inire-raise natin siya sa fourth power, which is ginagamit naman natin sa radiation. Parang nire-represent nito is delta T, which is yung delta T kapag degree Celsius is equivalent din sa delta T kapag Kelvin. So, pwede siyang hindi i-convert. Okay?
Thank you po, sir.
Right. So, next is, ang hinahanap natin ay rate of change of energy storage in the world, EST. So, may be determined by applying an overall energy balance to the world. Ito yung diniscuss natin kahapon, energy balance. So, energy coming into the system plus energy generated minus energy out is equivalent to energy stored. So, unahin natin yung energy generated kasi may given tayo dito na 1,000 watt per cubic meter. Multiply lang natin siya sa volume. Energy generated is equivalent to Q times yung volume na area times length. Area is 10 square meter, ang length is 1 meter. So, meron tayong makukuha energy generated dito. Tapos, may nakuha na tayo kaninang energy coming in, yung 120 kilowatt. Energy coming out is 160. So, minus 160. So, by energy balance, ang matitira na lang is negative 30 kilowatt. Yun yung energy na na-store. Okay, so may energy coming in tayo kanina na 120. Yung energy generated is 1,000 watt per cubic meter. Divide, kunin lang natin yung volume. Basta dapat pare-parehas yung unit na naka-kilowatt. Consistent dapat yung unit natin. Okay, so may question kung bakit nakuha yung negative 30. Okay na. So, next. Ang next na hinahanap is time rate of temperature change at x equals 0.25 and 0.5 meters. Ito, time rate of change of the temperature at any point in the medium may be determined from the heat equation. Yan. So, ito yung heat equation natin. Yung diniscuss natin kahapon. No? So, ito ay pag constant yung thermal conductivity. Ngayon, since nasa x direction lang tayo, i-remove natin yung z at saka y. So, wala tayong z at saka y. Matitira lang sa atin is ito. So, partial derivative of t with respect to time. Ito yung hinahanap natin. So, time rate of change of temperature at any medium may be determined from this heat equation. So, natira sa kanya is K over rho Cp so, dito siya galing. 1 over alpha, yung K over rho Cp. So, diba ang formula ng alpha is K over rho Cp. So, kunin lang natin yung partial squared T over partial x squared plus Q over rho Cp. So, ito, pwede itong ma-simplify as like this one. So, partial squared T over partial x squared equals partial x multiplied by the quantity partial T over partial x. Partial derivative of T with respect to x. So, itong equation na to, yung partial T over partial x, pwede siyang dito natin i-apply yung equation kanina na temperature distribution equation. This equation na to. Okay? So, substitute lang natin. Kinuha na natin yung yung derivative nito. So, b over 2cx na siya. b over 2cx equals second derivative yung kukunin natin. So, kukunin ulit natin yung derivative nito b plus 2cx kasi naka-second order siya. So, nangyayari sa kanya is 2c na lang siya kasi derivative ng b is 0. Derivative ng x is 1. So, 2c na lang siya. So, equal siya sa 2 times, may value tayo ng c na negative 50 degrees Celsius per square meter. So, nangyayari sa kanya is negative 100 degrees Celsius per square meter. Negets kung paano nakuha yung negative 100 degrees Celsius per meter. Dalawang beses nyo siyang kukunin yung derivative nito. Kasi naka-squared yung equation natin. So, dalawang beses nyo siyang, yung derivative nitong a plus bx plus cx squared is b plus 2cx, then kukunin nyo ulit yung derivative ng b plus 2cx. So, kaya magiging 2c na lang siya, and then, yun, substitute nyo yung value ng c, which is negative 50. So, meron tayo negative 50 dito. Ay, negative 100 pala, sorry. Yung value nito is negative 100. So, ang kailangan natin makuha is partial derivative of t with respect to time. So, kunin natin yung k over rho Cp. Multiply natin sa negative 100, tapos i-add natin dito sa q over rho Cp. So let's do that. Yan. So we have, so galing siya dito sa equation natin na to. Yan. So ang value ng K natin is 40. Yung rho is, density is 1/6 and then Cp is 4 times natin ng negative 100. So negative 100 ito. Yan, galing dito. Tapos plus yung density, Q over rho Cp. So ito pala yung Q generated. Ayan, Q dot. Hindi ko lang nalagyan ng dot, no? Pero Q dot siya. So which is 1,000 watt per cubic meter. Ito Q dot to, no? So heat generated to. Ayan. So yun, parehas ang density and check ang Cp, Q over rho Cp. So equals, ito na siya, negative 6.25 times 10 to the negative 4 degrees Celsius per second plus 1.56 times 10 to the negative 4 degrees Celsius per second. So ito yung magiging, ano niya, magiging time rate of temperature change na partial derivative of T with respect to time. So, ibig sabihin, nagbabago ang temperature at a rate of negative 4.69 times 10 to the negative 4 degrees Celsius per second. So, kada 1 second, nagbabago ang temperature ng negative 4.69 times 10 to the negative 4. So from this result, it is evident that the temperature at every point within the wall is decreasing with time. So nagde-decrease yung temperature at every point within the wall. So Fourier's law can always be used to compute the conduction heat rate from knowledge of the temperature distribution, even for unsteady conditions with internal heat generation. So applicable pa rin yung Fourier's law sa pag-compute na conduction heat transfer using our knowledge of temperature distribution. So kahit meron siyang heat generation. So kaya pala siya unsteady. Kaya kung mapapansin nyo kanina, yung Qin natin is 120. Pero nung yung naging Q out natin is 160. So ibig sabihin tumaas yung heat transfer na lumabas. Bakit? Paano nangyari yun? Paano nangyari na tumaas? From 120 naging 160. It is because meron tayong heat generated doon sa system. So, pwedeng sa loob ng wall, merong source ng heat. So, kaya tumaas yung value ng ating heat transfer coming out. So, hindi na siya steady state. Unsteady state na siya or transient. May question kayo? Nagets kung paano na-solve yung partial derivative of temperature with respect to time? Okay. So, next example. I will give you 5 minutes 5 minutes to solve this problem. So, at a given instant of time, the temperature distribution within an infinite homogeneous body is given by the function P of x, y, and z, which is x squared minus 2y squared plus z squared minus xy plus 2yz. Assuming constant properties and no internal heat generation, determine the regions where the temperature changes with time. Okay. So I will repeat, at a given instant of time, the temperature distribution within infinite homogeneous body is given by the function P of x, y, and z. So, three-dimensional siya. May x, y, at saka z tayo. So, equal siya sa equation na to, x squared minus 2y squared plus z squared minus xy plus 2yz. Constant properties, assuming constant properties and walang internal heat generation. So, ang hinahanap natin is the regions where the temperature changes with time. So, known temperature distribution P of x, y, and z with an infinite homogeneous body at a given instant of time. Find the regions where the temperature changes with time. So, schematic, pwedeng ganito yung schematic. P of x, y, and z equals x squared minus 2y squared plus z plus 2yz. Yan. Okay? So, pakisolve muna nito. Okay ng 5 minutes. Then, I will call somebody to solve for this. Okay, so let's solve the problem. So this is our heat diffusion equation that we have discussed last time. So assumptions, constant properties of infinite medium and no internal heat generation. So mawawala tong Q over K. Ay, yung Q pala mawawala. So, ang matitira na lang is ito. Partial squared t over partial x squared plus partial squared t over partial y squared plus partial squared t over partial z squared equals 1 over alpha partial derivative of t with respect to time. So when t of x, y, z satisfies this relation, then conservation of energy at every point in the medium is satisfied. So substituting p of x, y, z into the equation first, so ito yung equation natin, no? Kukunin natin yung derivative nitong x squared minus 2y squared plus z squared minus xy plus 2yz equals 0. So unahin natin yung merong x. So we have x squared minus xy. So kunin natin yung derivative ng x squared minus xy. So we have 2x minus y. Tama ba? So kaya may 2x minus y tayo dito. Next one is yung sa y naman na equation. So we have negative 2y squared minus xy plus 2yz. Kunin natin yung derivative nun. So we have negative 4y minus x plus 2z. So sa z naman, so ang merong z dito is z squared plus 2yz. So kunin natin yung derivative ng z squared na positive plus 2yz. So we have 2z plus 2y equals 1 over alpha partial derivative of t with respect to time. Okay. So performing the differentiation, so magiging ganito na equation natin. 2 minus 4 plus 2. Nag-guess nyo kung paano na nakuha yung 2 minus 4 plus 2. Okay. So, kinuha lang yung derivative nito. So, 2 minus 4 plus 2. Kinuha lang yung derivative nitong 2x minus y. We're performing the differentiation. So 2x minus y, negative 4y minus x plus 2z, and then 2z plus 2y. So ang magiging sagot dito is 2 minus 4 is negative 2 plus 2 is 0. So partial derivative of t with respect to time is equals to 0, which implies that for the given instant of time, the temperature will everywhere not change. So since we do not know the initial and boundary conditions, we cannot determine the temperature distribution at any future time. So we can only determine that for the special instant of time at the temperature will not change. Yan. So wala tayong initial boundary condition. So hindi natin ma-determine ang temperature distribution. Also, Ibig sabihin nito, kapag mayroon kayong value na partial derivative of temperature with respect to time ay hindi nagbabago yung temperature niya. So, walang time rate of change. Tsaka yun, wala kang given na initial boundary condition. Dito sa unang problem kasi, given yung distance. Yan. So, given yung distance dito sa unang problem. Dito, walang given na distance. Wala siyang boundary condition na binigay. So, yun. Kaya, 0 yung nakuha natin. Any question? So, we are done with this module. So, I will post it in our Google Classroom. So we will proceed with our next topic, which is continuation pa rin ng conduction heat transfer. One-dimensional. So focus na tayo ngayon sa one-dimensional heat transfer. So mas detailed discussion na ng one-dimensional heat transfer. One-dimensional conduction heat transfer. Hey, by the way, before tayo mag-proceed, may question ba kayo sa problem na to? Okay, so we can proceed with our next module. By the way, yung dinidiscuss ko ng mga examples, pwede nyo siyang may additional examples pa tayo dito sa mga topics natin na nandun sa module natin na hard copy. So, yan. Marireceive nyo siya next week. Wala pa lang, hindi pa lang nakakonfirm kung magkano yun. So, inform ko na lang kayo. So this, as you can see on our screen, meron tayong Philippines first supercritical power plant expands grid capacity. So another common application ng heat transfer ay sa mga power plants. So, itong Philippines first critical power plant expands capacity ay nasa Quezon, katabi lang ng Quezon Power Plant sa Quezon Power Plant. So, located adjacent to existing Quezon Power Plant, the San Buenaventura Power Ltd. Company. So, power plant is one of the core infrastructure projects reflecting the Philippines planning and foresight. So, SBPL Power Plant is the first coal-fired power plant in the Philippines to use supercritical technology. So advanced coal-fired power generation technology such as supercritical technology, increasing operating efficiency which results in fuel usage and air emissions including carbon dioxide. So yun, maraming heat transfer equipment ang required para makapag tayo ng advanced coal-fired power generation. Pero ngayon, sa ibang part, since meron tayong Paris Treaty Agreement, so mas pinopromote yung decarbonization, as you may heard. So, usually yung mga power plants, nagtatayo sila ng adjacent na carbon capture facility. So, yun, yung mismong carbon capture facility, mangangailangan pa rin siya ng maraming heat transfer equipment. So, just a trivia. So, our next topic is yun, one-dimensional steady-state conduction. So, one-dimensional, meaning x direction lang yung focus natin. So, the term one-dimensional refers to the fact that only one coordinate is needed to describe the spatial variation of the dependent variables. So, hence, in a one-dimensional system, temperature gradients exist along a single coordinate direction and heat transfer occurs exclusively in that direction. So the system is characterized by steady-state conditions. So if the temperature at each point is independent of time, so despite their inherent simplicity, so one-dimensional steady-state models may be used to accurately represent numerous engineering systems. Okay, so as you can see here, very hot metal, molten metal is being poured into a concrete. So kung one-dimensional lang siya, ang hindi natin i-consider ang thickness, yung y direction ng ating surface. So nakapokus lang tayo sa surface. Dito lang tayo sa surface nakapokus. Hindi natin i-consider yung y direction. So this is just a trivia on the heat pipe. So we can explain this. Okay, so our objectives in this module is first to determine the expressions for the temperature distribution and heat transfer rate in common planar, cylindrical, and spherical geometries. To introduce the concept of thermal resistance. To apply heat transfer and thermal resistance concepts in problem solving. And to solve problems in conduction heat transfer with convection film coefficient. So, yan yung goal natin. So, i-discuss natin yung heat transfer sa plane, planar or rectangular. So, cylindrical, tsaka spherical. Sa cylindrical, yung mga pipes, ang common application, piping systems. Sa spherical, meron kasi tayong mga geometry na spherical. Yung mga storage tanks natin, spherical storage tanks. So, yun yung mga example. Thermal resistance, ibig sabihin, ito yung isang factor na kinoconsider sa heat transfer. So, kapag yung isang material ay mataas ang thermal resistance, ibig sabihin, maganda siyang gamitin as insulation. Parang opposite siya ng thermal conductivity, ng thermal resistance. And then we will solve problems again, sample problems. And then, meron tayong mga problems na combination ng conduction at convection. So we also add here in our discussion. So by the way, most of the problems here ay hindi lang isang mode yung kino-consider. So meron tayong minsan sa problem may halo siyang convection tsaka radiation. So it is encouraged. So you are encouraged to study also, to be familiar also with other modes of heat transfer like convection and radiation. So minsan may nahahalo na problem about convection and radiation na kasama sa conduction. So kailangan familiar din tayo sa iba pang modes of heat transfer. So first is heat conduction on the plane wall. Yeah. For example, i-apply pa rin natin ang heat diffusion equation. So kapag one-dimensional, wala yung x tsaka y. Mas simple siya. Wala yung x. Ay, wala yung x. Wala yung y pala. Sorry. Wala yung y. Tsaka yung z. Ay, sorry. Yan, walang z direction. So, matitira na lang sa atin is x direction na lang. So, wala din tayong heat generated tsaka energy stored. So, ang matitira sa atin is x direction. So, ibig sabihin, pwede na tayo gumamit ng, hindi na natin kailangan mag-partial differential equation. So, the original differential equation na lang yung gagamitin natin. So, we have ito lang yung matitira, no? D over dx equal multiplied by the quantity k dt over dx equals 0. So, we have d squared t over dx squared equals 0. And the equation may be integrated twice to obtain the general solution. So, yeah, c1x, t of x equals c1x plus c2. So, yung ginawa natin kanina na integrate natin twice para ma-obtain yung general solution. So, ito na yung general solution natin. Okay? So, assuming na constant yung thermal conductivity, one-dimensional in x direction, walang internal generation, at walang steady state. At steady state siya. Okay? So, constant yung rate ng heat transfer. So, for example, meron tayong hot fluid dito, tsaka sa kabilang part ng wall ay may cold environment. So, ang tendency, magta-transfer ang heat from T1 going to T2. Okay. And yung temperature distribution can be solved using this equation. So, ito yung plane wall. And, meron tayong hot fluid, so may convection tayo dito. No? Sa kabila, may convection din kasi may cold fluid. So, ang temperature resistance natin dito is, sa convection is 1 over HA pag convection. H is convection heat transfer coefficient. Pag conduction, ang thermal resistance natin is L over Ka. Then, convection again. So, yung nakikita nyo na nasa ilalim, ito yung thermal resistance, equivalent thermal resistance circuit ng figure. So, ito yung nire-required sa bawat problems natin. So, kailangan maglalagay kayo ng thermal resistance circuit. So, required siya na maglagay. So, yun nga, kapag convection, 1 over HA. Kapag conduction, L over Ka. So, conduction dito sa ating wall. Tapos, convection ulit kasi may cold fluid. So, 1 over HA. So, ganito yung equivalent thermal circuit sa plane wall. So, ito ay single layer lang. So, kapag tatlong layer, di tatlong resistance, tatlong layer na magkakaibang material yun. Okay? So, ito ay sinubstitute lang natin yung value ng x. Di ba meron tayo kanina equation na C1x plus C2. So, kapag C1x, ang x ay 0, edi C2 na lang siya. Yan, C2. So, kapag naman x equals L, magkakaroon siya ng value na C1 times L plus C2. Plus C1L plus TS1. So, yung TS1 natin kanina is C2. So, makuha niyo yung value ng C1 plus TS2 minus TS1 over L. Anyway, ito naman ay derivation lang. So, in-apply lang natin yung condition sa general solution. So, it follows that this one. Okay. So, temperature distribution ng equation na to. So, T of x equals Ts2 minus Ts1 times x over L plus Ts1. So, but we will focus more on application na ng Fourier's law. So, ang formula natin ng Fourier's law sa conduction is negative Ka dt over dx. So, equals sa negative Ka over L Ts1 minus Ts2. So, itong equation na to, yung Ts1 minus Ts2 or delta T over L. So, dito siya galing. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng ganitong equation na Ka over L Ts1 minus Ts2. So, kinuha lang natin yung general solution sa temperature distribution. So, itong T of x natin is delta T x over L plus Ts1. So, yan. Ginamit lang natin siya dito. Yan. So, mga derivation lang itong equations na ito para mag-arrive tayo sa equation ng conduction, which is Q, yun nga, na Fourier's law, which is Qx over A equals K over L, K delta T over L. Sa madaling salita, K delta T over L. So, kapag heat flux, i-divide nyo lang ng area, yung ating heat rate. So, ito kasi ay heat rate, yung Ka over L. So, kung heat flux, i-divide nyo lang ng area. Or kung heat flux yung given, multiply nyo lang ng area para maging heat rate. So, pero yung equation natin is Q x equals negative Ka delta T over L. K delta T over L. Yung equation natin ng conduction. Okay, so same sa electrical resistance, yung thermal resistance natin, parang ganun din yung concept. So, pero dito, instead na electrical, so conduction ng heat yung kinoconsider natin. So, kung titingnan nyo, di ba, ang formula natin ng Q equals Ka delta T over L. Tama. Ka delta T over L. So, i-rearrange lang ito. Yun yung formula ng ating heat transfer. So, Q equals Ka times delta T all over L. So, yung thermal resistance natin is equivalent to change in temperature over Qx. So, equivalent siya sa L over Ka. So, yun. Yun yung ating thermal conductivity. Thermal resistance for conduction. So, ang formula niya is delta T over Q, which is equivalent to L over Ka din. Kaya may L over Ka tayo dito kanina for conduction. So, yun lang namin tatandaan nyo ng L over Ka, yung thermal resistance ng conduction. So, galing siya dito sa equation natin na delta T over Qx. Okay? So, yan. Yan yung formula. Equation 3.6. Gamit yung formula for conduction thermal resistance, L over Ka. So, for convection naman, galing siya sa Newton's law of cooling. So, we have HA delta T, yung heat rate natin. So, kukunin natin yung thermal resistance. So, same dito, delta T over Q. Kunin natin yung delta T over Q. So, equivalent siya sa 1 over HA. Yan. Okay? Nagets? Kung paano nakuha yung L over KA at saka 1 over HA. Yan. So, yun yung ating thermal resistance. So, kung kukunin nyo yung total resistance dito, kailangan nyo siyang i-add 1 over HA plus 1 over plus L over KA plus 1 over H2A. So, yan. Pag nakuha nyo yung total resistance, tapos given ang delta T, bali, ang delta T na gagamitin nyo is kung ano yung nasa dalawang dulo. Kapag meron kayong total thermal resistance, tapos may dalawa kayong delta T, yung sa convection sa dulo, tapos convection sa dulo, nakukuha nyo na yung rate ng heat transfer kasi ang formula ng heat transfer rate ay delta T over QR. Yung QR na, yung R over R total pala, sorry. Delta T over R total. Yung R total is yung total ng tatlong resistances. Tapos yung delta T is yun sa dalawang dulo. Okay? Pag radiation pala, 1 over HRA ang gagamitin. Parang ano lang din, parang Newton's law of cooling. Sa convection, 1 over HA. Sa radiation, 1 over HRE. Any question sa thermal resistance? So, paano pag magkakaibang material? O tinatawag natin na composite wall. So, heat conduction through composite wall. So, pag sinabing composite wall, they are number of layers of different materials with different properties and thicknesses. Such cases include a number of series or parallel thermal resistances arising from different layers of materials. Yan. Ito. Ganito pag tatlong layer. So, tawag natin dito ay composite wall. So, layer A, layer B, layer C. Okay? So, ang total thermal resistance nila is ang dami, no? So, muna may convection tayo. Kaya may 1 over HA tayo. Tapos, meron tayong conduction dito sa LA, layer A, conduction sa layer B, conduction sa layer C. Tapos, meron tayong cold fluid dito sa kanan. Kaya meron tayong convection. So, ang total thermal resistance natin is sa 5 yung kukumpitin nyo na total thermal resistance. So, ang formula ng heat transfer ay delta T over summation ng R total. Or R total. So, ang delta T na gagamitin nyo is yung pinakauna, T infinity 1, o temperature ng fluid, ng hot fluid, minus temperature ng cold fluid. So, dulo-dulo ating gagamitin equation. Pwede naman hindi dulo-dulo yung gamitin. So, pwede naman na ito muna, yung first layer, tapos second layer. Pero, dapat ang gagamitin yung temperature is yung magkatabing temperature. Yung dalawang temperature sa pagitan. No? So, we have temperature ng hot fluid, tsaka temperature ng surface 1, tapos ito yung kanyang thermal resistance. By the way, since tayo ay constant heat transfer, so kung kukunin nyo yung heat transfer dito sa area na to, mag-i-equal siya dito sa total rate ng heat transfer. Equal siya. Pag kinonsider nyo lang ay itong sa first layer, tsaka convection. So, equal pa rin siya dito. Pag kumuha kayo sa gitna, let's say yung layer B, kinuha nyo yung heat transfer dito, considering T2 and T3, ang makukuha niyong sagot is parehas pa rin ito, yung ating QX. So, pwede, it's either kunin niyo yung buo or pwedeng isa-isa lang. Yan, kagaya nito, ano? So, Qx is T infinity 1 or temperature ng fluid minus Ts1 over 1 over HA. So, ito yun, no? Equal siya sa temperature ng Ts1 minus T2. So, Ts1 minus T2 over yung resistance niya na L over Ka. Equal siya sa T2 minus T3. T2 minus T3 over thermal resistance na L over Kb. And so on and so forth. So, equal lang siya. Equal din siya dito. Kung kukunin nyo yung sabi ko na Qx equals temperature ng fluid, hot fluid, minus temperature ng cold fluid all over yung total resistances na 5. Yung 5 total resistance. Equivalent lang yan. May question? Okay, so next meeting, mag-solve tayo ng sample problem. Okay. So yun, hanggang dito lang muna tayo, then continue natin next meeting. By the way, next meeting pala ay 4th week, no? Tama? So,
Yes.
Okay, 4th week, ibig sabihin, based, kung titignan niyo yung ating syllabus, yun yung first quiz natin. So, may quiz tayo next week. First quiz number 1. Paki-ready ng siguro 3 bond paper. Yun na lang yung gagamitin yung answer sheet. Tapos ako na lang mag-print ng questionnaire. Okay? Yes. Mika.
Sir, kung pwede daw pong makuha yung module before this.
Sabi ni Ma'am Donna ay bibigay daw niya sa 4th week. Next meeting pa daw niya bibigay. So, mismo kung klase natin. Wala siyang hindi niya dala. Sa mismong natin, time natin i-distribute ka. So, bali, gawin nyo muna ng reviewer yung lectures natin na isi-save ko sa Google Classroom. Okay?
Sir, excuse po, paano po yung sa coverage? Ano pong laman ng course?
Yung na-discuss natin mula first day hanggang ngayon. From day 1 to day, yung today until today. Okay? Yes. Okay.
Sir, your problem solving po ba yung quiz?
Sige, maglalagay ako ng objective type. Para balance. Okay?
Sir, paano pong objective type? Like identification po?
Identification na lang.
Thank you po, sir.
Sir, ano pong size ng bond paper?
Short na lang, short bond paper. Short or A4, mahalin sa dalawa. Kung ano available. Bali, mga 4 siguro, 4 pieces. Pwede na siguro yan. Okay? Okay, sige po. Continue ulit natin next meeting. Thank you.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you po, sir.
Thank you po.
Thank you po, sir.